Okay, so the Ev base stands in the charred remains of an ancient park. An eerie quiet, punctuated only by the low hum of electronic equipment, pervades the desolate spot.
Before we exit, I'm going to recommend we holster our pistols. I'm bringing a pistol, by the way. But let's, let's extend an open hand and hope for the best.
Sure.
Can I sense trouble on the way out the shuttle?
Yeah, use a sense trouble
Yeah.
check. Let's
Silence
see
is always spooky.
Let's see if that does anything at the moment. No, at the moment that does not.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's
Just gonna sit there and be all spooky and spooked out, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And can I assume that we all have some kind of respirator or...
Yeah.
Respirators, do we need anything for the radiation? Radaway, perhaps.
Well, that sounds like you'd be doing a scan of the ambient radiation and contamination levels.
Can you please do that before getting out of the shuttle?
Yes.
Yes.
That's an energy saves thing, right?
No.
No?
So this is just something that happens, and
Okay.
Evovid, as you're looking over the data, because you guys all have that data, you realize that the settlers here are taking their lives into their own hands. Although you guys aren't really at very much risk from just spending a few days here, long-term exposure to the radiation, contaminants, and anomalous energies in the atmosphere is likely to cause cell mutation, cancer, and a variety of debilitating and life-shortening illnesses.
Hopefully that medicine that they're getting shipped is doing some good, but this is not a place for long-lasting life.
Not a place to start a family. Got it.
Oh, and I knew you were looking for one.
But I'm sure many have regardless. Inspiration.
Is there anywhere that looks... Are we on the ground yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
we're
there
about to
anywhere that
step
looks, pardon me, like a bar?
Where you are at, no.
No.
The only thing that you see in front of you is a white, looks like the top half of a donut that's sitting a little ways away, because Ire
Design.
did not land on the base.
A donut, but instead of sprinkles, it's dead people ash.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's the icing.
Are there any living people nearby at all?
Not that you can see.
We would have to do a bit of walking to get to the town.
We should lock the door.
You can definitely lock the door.
And are inside
Is that...
running that long scan and keeping the door locked. And hopefully our ship doesn't get hacked and
Self-destruct. Implode.
Is there anything I can do to stop that from happening?
Stop what
a
from
short-
happening?
Other people from being able to hack into our ship.
Since you're not exactly sure how it happened the first time, not really.
Okay.
Can we
I
wrap
was
the
just
ship in...
wondering.
Can we wrap this ship in tinfoil?
That would take a few hours, and you don't have that much tinfoil.
There's never enough tinfoil.
Not to wrap a
Nah,
shuttle.
unless you want to make some potatoes. That's nice.
Are there any... Sorry if I missed this. Are there any people in the immediate vicinity?
Nope.
No.
Gotta walk into town.
Let's see.
All right.
So I
Let's
think
walk.
To the donut?
to the donut.
Okay, so industrial design, who has it?
Me.
Okay.
I know for a fact I have it somewhere.
So, especially in this first episode, I'm going to be prompting you guys for skills a lot so you can kind of get an idea. But starting in an episode or two, if you don't ask to use skills, you're going to start missing things.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the hard shell white structure is just a typical prefab product of cheap post-war engineering. There are no signs of activity anywhere around the base. A battered but lovingly maintained all-terrain truck has been haphazardly parked near its entry doors. Stanchions form a perimeter around the base. These project motion-triggered force fields to keep out intruders. Configured according to the book, they emit a low-intensity, non-lethal disruption field. But don't worry, your guys' comm units, which are termed as tethers, do have the disruption codes, or the deactivation codes for the security stanchions.
Okay.
So I assume that someone decides to beam the codes at them.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's unlock the field.
They do not disengage.
Oh. That's good.
That's uncomfortable.
That means that someone has changed the codes and not
That's
informed
awesome.
anyone.
That's upsetting.
Things wrong.
These are the gates to the city, you were saying?
No, the gates to the EV base.
Hmm.
Can I get a read on sense danger?
There's that nothing pings with your sense danger. With sense danger, it's going to be more. I will go, okay, if you have sense danger, and then tell something to you.
Something's not right.
Bad things. Well, I guess our next stop is the nearby settlement for some information gathering. Because clearly someone is in here that's not supposed to be in here. And they're
So-
messing with stuff.
Walking to the settlement, which would be the best, it would be better than taking your shuttle, would take 4 hours each direction.
Why would it be better than taking our shuttle?
Because
That
it's
mess that we had to fly through to get here.
yeah.
Oh.
Both the city and the charged particles. Ire, you would definitely know that you don't want to fly around this city very much, because if you hit one of those pockets of hyper-ionized air or any of the other hundreds of things that you went through on your way down, you would just smash into a building.
Oh, yucky. So, does anyone have any infiltration skills or any
I do.
shoot, what's that called? Systems
Oh, I do.
design / repair.
Yes.
Wink,
I have
wink.
those.
So a systems
Trying to figure out which would be the most useful.
a systems repair test would be something that you could use to safely deactivate the security stanchions.
I would like to do that, please.
Okay, would you like to spend any of your points before making that roll?
I'm gonna spend 2 of them.
Okay.
Would infiltration dictate the best place to go get around the stanchions?
It'd be a circle
Oh, boy.
around the thing. What'd you roll, Akko?
Got a 6 plus 2, so that's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you successfully deactivate them.
Ooh,
Awesome.
we in.
Let's move.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're quiet.
Do we have a particular order we want to, like, or formation or something? Oh, sorry. I was someone else talking, sorry.
We're just saying that. Are we now committing a crime by? You
No.
know- yeah, there's
No.
to.
Number one, there's no legal authority to commit crimes against. Number two, you were hired to find out what's going on with this base.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Although whoever was attempting to keep people outside of changing known codes, are going to be unhappy that we're here. So get ready for company.
Aqua just holds up her face. It's like, okay.
Wayward,
Okay.
what's the music like right now? Is it easygoing or is it very suspenseful?
Oh, true.
One of these?
With their soundtrack. No.
Let me pull that up real quick.
Oh, I was kidding. But
But yeah, let's get some of that official soundtrack on there.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is about to become diegetic.
Okay. Let's pull this. Let's make this low music so we can easily talk over it. Okay. So there's a doorway into the base ahead of you. What do you guys do?
any cameras around?
Not that you notice.
And scans probably aren't going to turn up anything for him either.
Would spending a point or two in surveillance?
Nope.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
Leslie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if I want to get any information from their computers, I probably can't do it from like the door lock.
You'd have to
I'd
be
have to
on the. You'd have to be inside the base.
So I kind of wanted to get us inside.
Okay.
But
Do you want to open the door?
I'm not sure. I want to be the one to open the door because I am not good at shooting things.
I will open the door.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, Volvid and myself take point.
Okay, you're gonna
Do one
open
of
the
those
door
where you
then.
stand on either side of the door.
3, 2, 1, kick.
Okay.
We've worked on this.
So I need everyone to make an athletics check.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
As the
Oh, okay,
bomb
that's not
on
bad.
the other side of the door explodes.
Oh,
Damn it.
okie dokie.
I'm putting 2 points into this one.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna point him.
Oh, that might.
I only
Oh,
put
that did
1
not
point
go-
in, and I rolled a 2.
I also got a 2 for 4.
Okay.
Points. And
What was that, Vovid? I didn't quite hear you.
I'm putting in 3 points. And
Okay.
I rolled a 2, so 5.
Okay. Akko?
Akko put in a point and got a total of 2.
Okay.
Yay.
Alistair?
Alistair, I'm putting in 2 points and got a 5. I mean, it's
Okay.
5 total.
Anyone who got under 4 takes 2 points of health damage.
Oof.
Ouch. It's alright. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Basically, as Vovid and Alistair, you said you were specifically standing outside of the door, and one of you reached over to hit the open door, and it essentially exploded like a claymore. It was just this very forceful explosion outward that went 10 meters.
We still have our hands.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I will
Props.
I'll draw my pistol and for any follow-up attackers.
Yep, pistols out.
Oh, actually, I'm so sorry. I misread what I said. Those who got over 4 take 2 points of damage. Those who got under 4 take 6.
Ooh.
Well, I have 5.
Okay, so Lazaline is down.
And our medic
We
is.
don't have our medic today.
Oh, your backup medic is not down yet, but they're close.
All right. I do have the what would it be? The espressor. It's one of them that'll stabilize.
Yeah, definitely use that on
Which
Lazaline.
Oh,
So Lazaline, I need you to make a check. It would be, I believe it is difficulty 2. Let me double check that real quick.
Well, I hope that's what it is, because that's what I got.
Okay.
These dice are in timeouts.
Oh, this dice never even failed me once, so don't get in time out yet. You're on thin ice.
Okay. So you are hurt. So what's going to happen from now on with Lazaline is you haven't suffered no permanent injury beyond a few superficial cuts and bruises. However, the pain of your injuries makes it impossible to spend points on investigative abilities and increases the difficulty number of all tests and contests, including opponents' hit thresholds, by 1. A character with the medic ability can improve your condition by spending medic points. For every medic point someone other than you spends, you get 2 health back. For every point of medic you spend on yourself, you gain 1 point of health back. And the medic can only refill your pool to where you were before the incident in which you received your latest injury.
This doesn't have negative, I hope.
Yes, you are at -1
Negative
health.
1. Okay.
Yeah, and at what was it? -8. You're dead.
-12.
Abilities, then all.
So you would need at least one point spent from someone other than yourself to get up to positive.
Okay.
Are medkits something that a preparedness check would give?
A med kit. I don't know if they have med kits in this game, to be honest.
Like, is there any sort of burn cream that preparedness would have provided one with? I don't know.
No.
There's a deflector.
But we've already taken the damage.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
Is there anything else coming for us?
Not that you can see at the moment. So,
Is there-
Akko, it sounded like you were going to spend 1 medic point to get
Yeah.
Lazaline up to 1 hit point.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my intent.
Okay.
I slowly died. Almost.
Okay. So does that mean I am still
So now you are better now.
okay?
The minuses that I talked about no longer affect you because you're at positive health.
Okay. Cool. Goal: do not get hit by anything again.
Yeah, I'm so tempted to use one of my things, but I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna take more damage, and I don't want to like screw up my life even more. But I'm tempted to start just healing myself.
So, does anyone want to check the remains of the bomb?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
How
So,
dare.
Ire, do you have explosive devices?
I do.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, this bomb was slapped together in such haste that it was unstable and ready to blow at the slightest disturbance.
Oh, so there
And-
really wasn't a way to.
You also
Nice.
discover that it was set up to prevent anyone from escaping the base.
Huh.
So whoever did this is an idiot. It exploded out instead of in, even though they wanted to explode in.
Had you discovered it before you opened the door, you might have been able to disarm it.
Okay. Oof.
Also, slumped beneath the bomb, there is a corpse.
Oh, let's investigate this guy.
It's a male
Yeah.
victim who wears a version of the white and green uniform of a Combine science team, customized with tool belts and a multi-pocketed vest.
Ooh,
Is there anything worth filching from it?
that's a good question.
No.
Does evidence
Okay.
collection show any sort of name badge or?
Evidence collection, no. However, forensic anthropology would tell you about cause of death. Kinetics, well, no, for him it would just be forensic anthropology. And you can spend a point in that if you would like.
I'm going to spend my 1 point in that.
Okay. So the cause of death was blunt force trauma. And the murder weapon was a claw hammer.
So
I feel better knowing we didn't kill somebody.
Yeah.
You did not kill anyone at this point.
Yeah, notably blunt force trauma from not a baton. So this person was not killed by a militant. They were killed by a fellow worker.
It appears to be such.
And nothing to do. Their tools don't indicate that they were a bomb builder.
You're not sure.
Someone with different skills.
I mean, any more so than any scientist could be, probably.
Yeah.
Would I have to spend a point to identify if his various tool wilts were, I guess, designed for that, or just, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think that'd be something explosives could help in.
Looking through the tools, you could slap a bomb together with those tools, but I mean, a lot of bomb building is not tool use.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
First one, might it behoove us to reinitiate that force field in the front to ensure that maybe we don't get any other unwanted visitors from behind? Second question, does anyone have mage hand?
The answer to the second question
Yes.
is no.
Yes, now that you ask, yes. No.
So
Can I
All right.
investigate the chemicals that were used in this makeshift claymore?
not quickly.
Okay. Then I will put a plug in that and not.
So the interior of the base has sustained heavy damage. Live wires hang from exposed ceiling panels. And, okay, I've just been asked to turn the music down a little bit more because it is louder than it sounds. Okay. So I've turned it much down.
Really? I can't hear it.
Well, at the moment, no, because it ended and is now restarting. Okay. But it
Sorry,
is...
but
Yep.
quickly, should we at least initiate that force field in the front in case we get anyone else? Does anyone else think this?
Akko, if you would like to, you would be able to. However, you would have to disable it the same way that you did the first time if you re-enable it.
We can, but it might take a minute to get it back down if we're trying to run away.
Okay, I gently close the blown out door.
There's not enough left of the door to
A
close
hinge.
it.
It's symbolic.
Tries.
It's a symbolic gesture.
Alistair
You just move the hinge.
the broken door frame and props it back up.
So, there are live wires that are hanging from exposed ceiling panels. Lights flicker on and off, and scorch marks score the partially melted surfaces of fried consoles.
Fried consoles.
Yes.
That's great.
This level, whoever had the technological genius to install autopilots onto our ship and then hack them clearly was not working out of here.
Correct.
Maybe they were.
Does anyone have kinetics they would like to use?
I do not.
I do. And you're asking for point
No.
expended?
I'm not asking for a point expenditure.
All
Just for
right.
you to use it.
I got it, yes.
Much of the damage was caused by lethal disruption fire.
Okay.
Someone swept through this place.
Okay.
And keep in mind, most people keep any weapons they have on non-lethal at all
Burn
times.
team.
Most scrubs, you don't know how to land a shot. But enough about racial ability. Let's find this.
So
Dude.
I would like to posit a goal of finding a working terminal, because if I can get to one of those, I can probably break into some kind of logs or other information that might give us a heads up as to what happened here.
Sure. So it sounds like you guys want to just kind of search through the base. It's not super big. It'll take you probably a couple minutes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to split up? Do you want to stay together?
Don't split the.
So
Don't split the party.
I'm all for splitting up.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna need someone to help me walk.
I
'Cause
can
I'm
do
still
this.
feeling like I'm probably not feeling great on my feet, even though
Oh
I'm-
no, you're not that bad. You weren't even knocked unconscious.
Okay.
It hurts, but in like a week or two you'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm limping and kind of unhappy, but not. I'm operating on a different idea of having reached negative hit points than I think this game is.
Yeah.
at.
So
Okay.
from 0 to -5 hit points, you're injured, but as it says, superficial cuts and bruises. You're not seriously injured or anything like that.
Okay.
That's -6 to -11. That's where you're like flirting with falling unconscious.
Okay.
And then -12, you're dead.
That's a very distinct jump.
Okay. Well, I would
Neil unconscious, dead.
park myself alongside someone who's really good at guns and
That would be
possible-
Vovid.
broader.
I'm good at guns too. Well, goodish.
So-
Not Bovid good.
No one is voting.
No, it's Bovid good.
Worry not, Fred.
What you guys
I shall
find?
assume my position is chopper.
What you guys find in a walkthrough of the base is that there are 7 more bodies.
No.
Also disruption fire.
So that'd be forensic anthropology to start going through how they all were killed.
I just used my point in that outside.
Does anyone else have forensic anthropology?
I sure don't.
Okay, well,
I have
Vovid,
engineering of it.
you can use it. You just don't have any points to spend.
Do they look similar enough, or I'm gonna look at the bot. You know, so the point on the first guy where I found the blunt force trauma bruising. I'm gonna look at that spot on another body.
So, what you find is 2 of the additional victims were beaten to death. Another one was poisoned. And the other 4 were killed by lethal disruption fire.
Is there anything particularly, I don't know, weird is the wrong word because they were killed in such a fashion, but about those disruption fire 4?
Not particularly. You can't really tell what's... Yeah, it's just... They're dead bodies. A couple of them were beaten to death. One was poisoned and the other were shot.
Is there anything distinctive about the one that was poisoned beyond the fact that they were poisoned?
Who's our virologist?
I have a point
Oh,
in
medic.
it, but I don't know that that's gonna help here.
Anything?
Okay. So, if you'd like to use virology, you can.
Okay.
So, as you examine the poison victim, it shows that the toxin was administered by a medical implement, the standard osmotic puncher used to administer ViroWare treatments.
Okay.
So something that you guys also discovered while doing this is everyone but the poisoning victim died 3 days ago. Or at least that's what the signs of death are consistent with.
Oh.
Poisoning victim.
The poisoning victim
Oh.
lived for a day longer than everyone else.
Oh.
Oh.
And the toxin that was used was a pure concentrate of an ordinary anti-radiation treatment that is lethal when it's undiluted.
Man. Oof.
That's really bad.
What clothing are all these people wearing?
They're all wearing the uniforms of a combined science team.
So
What they, who gave us this job? Just Combine Central?
Basically.
quick.
Did
Quick.
it indicate that the distress signal was sent out 3 days ago, 2 days ago?
3 days ago, yes.
Oh.
So it was not sent by this poisoned person. It was probably sent out as soon as the gunfire began. If I-
As you cross-reference your rough time of death with your briefing materials, yeah, these deaths must have happened more or less simultaneously with the sending of the distress signal. It might have been sent immediately after the deaths during the struggle, or immediately before, during the struggle, or shortly afterward.
Going off pure detective hunchery, the current picture I have in my head is that as soon these scientists were caught unprepared by whoever attacked them.
So,
probably- so
I don't think they
Vovid.
were attacked.
Vovid, you are able to quickly cobble together a rough holographic animation showing the attack.
all right.
So what you find is that the base crew killed each other.
Based on like angles of fire and
Mhm.
positioning and whatnot. Yeah.
There
Oh.
are no attackers that are unaccounted for.
Some.
So this base had, am I getting this, 8 scientists in total?
That is what you've noticed so far.
But our guy outside got killed with a claw hammer.
So he was inside.
Oh, okay, okay.
Basically, he died and was like laying under the bomb because the bomb was up on the door.
Okay.
Or maybe he tried to get out and then someone else set the bomb afterwards.
No, I think he set the bomb and somebody came up after he set it. Yeah, this is concerning.
So,
Yeah.
do you guys want a rundown of what Vovid's animation shows?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like 3 of the survey team entered the complex through the main door, shooting.
Hmm.
They killed 2 victims in short order before the remaining 3 rallied, killing 2 of their attackers. The third seems to have been disarmed, but then broke free, apparently seizing a claw hammer. One of the defenders constructed the bomb to keep the attacker in the base. Another was beaten to death in an adrenaline-fueled rage attack. The attacker then struck the fatal blows against the bomb builder, was dosed with the toxin, and then slew the defender who gave him the dose. He then remained in the base, presumably deterred by the bomb, until he succumbed to the toxic dose.
Okay.
So, about those computer consoles.
So, Leslie, do you have...
Our disruption weapon, our guns part of standard combine science equipment?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, it is. you know, there's
Especially in a planet like this, yeah.
Was there any audio on that video?
Well, this is just a rough animation that he was able to cobble together based on what he discovered.
What sort of data can we? Can we get any of these systems online enough to pull from some backups or?
So who has data retrieval?
I do. That's what I keep
Excellent.
asking about.
Yes, I'm trying to get to you, Leslie. Don't worry.
I know.
So you realize that the mainframe is seriously damaged, and every attempt to access it increases the chance of catastrophic failure.
Okay.
So basically, you're only going to be able to get so much out of it before it dies completely.
Okay.
Subsequent data extraction may be possible, but it will take days or weeks and must take place on your ship.
Okay. So pulling out the computer cores and bringing them up to the ship.
Okay, so who is going to spend points on data retrieval?
I will spend 2.
Okay.
no.
Well, so what you would do is you would get 1 piece of information for every point you spend.
Oh, I see. I will spend 1. This is one of
Okay.
the roll ones, that's right.
Okay. So what do you want to try and discover?
So I want to know I want to find logs, like they would have been logging, what they're researching. There would be maybe personal logs from the crew, so like any kind of video or text logs
Okay.
that people would have made.
So there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of logs.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to be a little bit more specific on what you're
Okay.
looking for.
Okay, let's time bound it to the couple days leading up to the distress signal.
This would be more of a subject subject binding rather than a time binding.
Okay. Subject.
And by the way, you do have the personnel files,
Okay.
and you are able to match up each victim to their images in their personnel files. All of them are human, although one named Mask had enough cyberware that he may or may not have considered himself a cyb.
So
Was Mask one of the 3 first gunmen?
Let's see.
Was that the bomb builder?
Yes, he was one of the. So Harlan Mask was 22, a survey technician. He was killed by disruption fire. Born and raised on Ares 3, survivor of the civilian evacuation. His parents were left behind and killed.
okay.
None of their records show any signs of psychosis or.
So that would be something that would be in the logs.
Yeah. So I'm gonna choose as my subject matter any information in personal logs people would have made about disagreements amongst the crew. Does that work as a subject?
Yes, that
Okay.
does. Okay, and so, Lesline, is this... You said this was the only point you were going to spend?
Yeah, I want to save one for pulling more data on the ship later.
So,
If-
on the
if-
ship later, you would not have to spend points, you would spend time.
Oh. Then I will spend both my points now.
Okay. So, the dispute between crew members, that's 1 point. And what you find is there is a series of log entries by the team leader who was Nolan Honor. 31, he was a defender killed by blunt force trauma. A decorated former captain from the Combined Navy.
Okay.
You have found out that Zach McClung had a hostile attitude. And Zach McClung is a 30-year-old radiation an analyst who was an attacker killed by poisoning. So he was the poisoned person.
Okay.
His records contain multiple reprimands from the team leader for, quote, hostile attitude and undermining collective morale. Very clear that Nolan Honor was a military man.
Mm-hmm.
All of the records he wrote use military phrasing and formatting. McClung comes off as increasingly belligerent, especially after Honor, citing deteriorating relations with the locals, orders him to stay away from the bar in town. You also find a supplementary statement from Dr. Osborne, stating he may be suffering from substance withdrawal and borderline personality disorders.
Who isn't?
And Dr. Osborne would be Letha Osborne, 40-year-old medical officer, defender who poisoned McClung, died from blunt force trauma, a decorated former Combine officer. There's also Carlo Patrick, 31-year-old technical officer. He's the defender who made the bomb. He died from blunt force trauma. Fought in a regular unit during the war. And Carlo is the corpse that you found under the bomb.
Okay.
I've already mentioned Harlan Mask. There was Jacka Matt, 26-year-old survey technician, was an attacker killed by disruption fire. Cleared by disciplinary tribunal of charges arising from last environmental survey posting of complicity in smuggling. There's also Danny what was that?
Oh, a good smuggler.
There's Danny Crowder, 36-year-old atmospheric analyst, defender killed by disruption fire, had applied for a transfer to a desk job. And finally, there's Kendra Mitchie, 37-year-old toxic material analyst, defender, also killed by disruption fire. File indicates a tersely worded incident report regarding a physical altercation with a Dura Arms dealers Salerto and Arakshi. Concludes with entry from Nolan Honor, matter considered closed.
Arms dealers.
Yes.
Is it our obligation to, like, complete these or beam back to Combine HQ that we found these scientists who were officially reporting their deaths?
Yeah, that would
be step next. My next. You said the person who sort of the focal point of the hostile relations between the
Zach
scientific
McClung?
stuff was the radiation analyst.
Correct.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to spend my next point in, is the work that he was doing on analyzing the radiation.
So you can do that without actually having a spend.
Okay.
There's just reams of radiation data. This is an irradiated planet that has a radiation analyst analyzing it.
Okay.
Lots of data.
Lots of numbers that I don't really necessarily understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
May I ask who died first and who died last?
So
One more
Danny
time.
Crowder and Kendra Mitchie would be the first to die, and then Zach McClung would have been the last to die. He died a day later.
And we got a message that said to stay away from the bar.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
He had a message that he was supposed to stay away from the bar. Yeah.
In relation to deteriorating relations with locals.
Lazaline, do you want to look into that? Is that what you would like to spend your point in?
I think that would be a good place.
Okay.
But also, I think I know who runs that bar.
So you do find the information, and basically right as you finish transferring it, the system crashes.
Cool.
This
We didn't find out if the distress signal came from that terminal, did we?
So the distress signal, it wasn't like a repeating signal. It went out once, and you haven't figured out why only one was sent. Generally, more than one would have been sent.
My hologram didn't show anyone walking to the terminal and ringing some sort of silent alarm.
No, but your hologram is just.
Where?
What was that?
That's something that, like, is that something that could be done through a cyberware? Of like is there some sort of like internal brain, like the internal set? Is there an internal?
There would be long-range transmitters that would have to have been used. Your animation doesn't show that, but it wouldn't. Because someone using the long-range transmitters isn't leaving blast marks on the wall or anything. So your animation only shows the final moments of each person's life.
Is there only one way in and out of this area?
Yes. Of the base, yes. So back to did the base have any problems with the locals? So what you come up with is the incident report listed above under Mitchie's personnel file, along with other log entries from Nolan Honor. Honor reports pressure from the Lagos Corporation to deliver a positive environmental statement, and that his refusal to cooperate with them led to escalating harassment. This at first consisted of jeers and catcalls, eventually escalating to vandalism of the base. This last incident led them to erect the security stanchions.
So they wanted to bribe them to say that the planet was fine when it's clearly not. It's irradiated to hell.
Basically. Does anyone want to
Sounds like the Logos Corporation is having a corruption scandal of its own.
Could I learn more about the Lagos Corporation?
at the moment, no, but you can start a inquiry out, and I'll let you know if that if the ship comes back with, hey, this is what we're finding.
Then, secondly, are we able to get a read on Boris's ship?
With a who ship?
I'm sorry, Rona.
It's there.
There's no company logo on it.
No.
Did she say what classification her ship was?
No.
Oh, the hauler.
What do
It
you mean
is
by
a hauler.
classification?
That's a type of ship. It's a broad type of ship.
I mean, like, oh, we're the, obviously not.
Oh, whether it's military or corporate or
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a military hauler. There really isn't a military in the bleed. That's part of the reason why lasers exist.
Yep. Remind me the mission parameters. We're supposed to find the source of the distress signal and
And what
respond.
happened?
Mhm.
Well, this is if
The short version of it we have.
You do have the short version.
but we can't conclusively call that mission complete. Also, whoever hacked our ship is also on this planet.
Yes.
We need to find out who the heck that was and get them to cut that out.
You also haven't actually performed autopsies.
Oh dang! And that would be our medic's job.
Ew.
So it sounds like we're gonna have to load up the bodies and the computer core onto our shuttlecraft and bring them back up to the ship.
No, actually, this base, you can perform autopsies in the medical facility here. They're mostly non-invasive scans.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it would be gorier than that.
Do we
I
need
mean,
to
it's the
scout ahead?
25th century.
Do we need to scout ahead and clear the rooms first?
I mean, you've already walked through the base by this point.
No more doors.
Well, I mean, there are, but there's no more bombs on doors.
I'm developing a door phobia.
So forensic anthropology would be the skill to use for
I continue to have that, and I've spent my one cool point I have in it, but I still have it.
So what you reveal is there are strange malformations in the prefrontal cortices of the three attackers, but not in the victims.
With a virology point, can I take a look at those?
So you wouldn't need to spend a point.
Okay.
These were not the result of viral infection, natural or otherwise.
Okay.
So maybe it's a mutation as a result of being on this planet too long.
You also find out that Zach McClung has an internal headset. None of the
wasn't
others do.
guy we think is a Cybe.
What was that?
Is McClung the maybe Cybe?
No.
No. But the maybe side was also one of the attackers, if I recall correctly. What about the third attacker?
So the third attacker was Jacka Matt, who was the survey technician cleared by disciplinary tribunal of charges arising from last environmental survey posting of complicity in smuggling.
I don't like it. Okay.
So,
what is the full tech array of the maybe Cybe person?
Completely, honestly, it's irrelevant.
Okay, but it's not like offensive. This person hasn't been. It's not like pop claws and berserker. It's more just surveillance and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone who clearly found a lot of use for a lot of this stuff.
But not offensive. Like
Correct.
not be a killing machine.
Correct.
Okay.
Would there be any history check on these, what you call them, prefrontal malformation?
No. That wouldn't come up through history.
Yeah, that sounds like
And
medical, something or
What was that, Ire?
I was going to say any chemistry or those sorts of fun stuff would be a longer term.
Is there
Yeah.
anything that forensic psychology could help out with?
Nope. But keep in mind, internal headsets have onboard storage.
Oh.
Let's take it out.
Can I pull that out?
Data retrieval? Sure. It shows that the onboard storage was corrupted as McClung died. Which, Vovid, you know that neurofeedback scrambles internal headset contents and about 27% of violent deaths.
All right.
However, you are able to recover a portion of an encrypted message received by McClung a day prior to the incident.
I'm sure I'm not doing that. I'm sure whoever has decryption is doing that, but
I will spend a point of decryption if necessary. to do that.
Okay, so you don't have to spend a point.
Okay.
You're able to reassemble a portion of a hollow message. A grimy-looking scavenger type looks into the camera. Recoverable dialogue includes the phrases, "Crazy reading, Z, right off the scale." Well, you can spend a point if you would like to get a little bit more.
That would be preferable.
Okay. You also hear, "Trade you the coordinates for some of that swag we talked about earlier." Then
Hold on.
you were able to get a third message with your spend.
Okay, yeah, just give me a second to get it down.
Okay.
Message.
You hear unintelligible with Kresh down at the bar.
another indication that that is an individual that we ought to meet.
Yep, we gotta talk to this guy.
Okay.